1, 2, 3, 4.
Chant down Babylon kingdom, team make we chant down Vatican now. Bang bling bling, chant down Babylon kingdom, team make we chant down Vatican now. Chant down Babylon kingdom, team make we chant down Vatican now. Bang bling bling, chant down Babylon kingdom, team make we chant down Vatican now.
What up, y'all? It's Babylon 5 Podcast. It's your boy, Jermaine Event. How are you guys doing? This is episode 189. We're calling this bad boy Revenga. Just wanted to bring that mic a little closer here. It almost looks like I'm not even recording audio. Well, I'm clearly recording, but it looks ever so slight. Maybe that's just how it is. Welcome to episode 189, Revenga. Alright. This episode is called Revenga. If you guys don't know the song, if you guys don't listen to System of a Down, my nigga, it's just a great song. Check it out. That's why we were calling that, because we are going to talk about UFC 287, Adesanya versus Pereira 2. And will Adesanya have his revenge? And that's all we're going to talk about today, is that card. I didn't watch fucking whack-ass Jorge Masvidal's boxing card. I was like debating on if I should go, and then as it got closer, I was like, fuck Jorge Masvidal. That nigga's a scumbag. So I didn't care to I didn't want to give money to Jorge. I fell out of favor with Jorge Masvidal in the lead up to his fight with Ben Askren. Just as someone in Wisconsin who does so much for the youth, I didn't appreciate someone like Jorge Masvidal, the way he was trying to talk down to Ben Askren. Just as a native of Wisconsin, he rubbed me the wrong way initially with that shit. And he really pissed me off when he knocked Ben Askren out in like 5 seconds. Really pissed me off with that shit. Because at that point, niggas who don't do their research, they don't look into the history for MMA, they feel like Ben Askren was just this nigga who should have lost to Robbie Lawler. And that's it. And then he got knocked out in 5 seconds. And then looked terrible against Damian Maia. But he was undefeated before that Jorge Masvidal fight. And he was dominating niggas in one. Alright, one championship. He was dominating in one. Dominating in Bellator. And then he was retired. Needed back surgery. And that's when he got traded to the UFC. I'm on a tangent here. I'm babbling about Ben Askren, but that's the point of it. Jorge rubbed me the wrong way. I bought that fucking bullshit t-shirt. That 3-piece and a soda t-shirt. And I figured, that's all the money Jorge needed from me. I went and saw Jorge versus Colby Covington. I guess that's money Jorge got from me too, but not. It's all there. I'm there in support of Colby Covington. Colby Chaos Covington. Is it Colby Incorporated? Colby Chaos Incorporated? I don't even know. I don't even know. But I decided, I was like, I'm not trying to support this shit. And then I'm looking at the face-off of Anthony Pettis and 54-year-old Roy Jones, and I'm like, no, this is fucking wrong. This is fucking wrong. I was like, I'm not watching this shit, and I'm not even gonna, yeah. I apologize. I figured I had to mention it, because I talked about it last week. And I'm embarrassed that I did talk about it, because fuck Game Bread Boxing. As a staff, organization, and label. But if you guys would like to follow this podcast on Instagram and Twitter, it's at Babylon5Pod. You guys can email this podcast at Babylon5Podcast@gmail.com. You guys could hit that like button anywhere that you listen to this. I'd appreciate it so much. If you guys would like to follow this podcast on Twitch, head on over to twitch.tv/Babylon5. If you guys would like to cop some merchandise, head on over to teespring.com/store/BOFpod-shop. And lastly, don't just be my knees, be my patrons. Head on over to patreon.com/Babylon5Pod. I didn't really... looking at the notes, I was like, let me scroll down and get to the notes, and I was like, nigga, you ain't write no notes. You just said... we're talking about UFC 287. UFC 287 headlined for the rematch between Alex Alex Pereira defends his belts versus Adesanya. Israel Adesanya, the last style bender. I didn't want to see this fight the last time it happened. I thought it was fucking dumb that they rushed Pereira to this Izzy fight because he beat Izzy in the past. And it's like, why doesn't he have to go through the process of going through the ranks? It's like, nah, he's got to fight Sean Strickland right now. Winner fights Izzy. We've decided. He shouldn't even have been in that fight. Where are the people that he beat before? The Michaelides, all these. I was looking at the previous fights. I'm trying not to hate this nigga. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying not to hate this nigga. But y'all know, Izzy's my favorite fighter. You know what I'm saying? I started training MMA. Well, I started training jiu-jitsu with just mainly because I was on, when I was watching Adesanya versus Anderson Silva, and I was having 1,000 epiphanies that night, if you understand what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure I've told you guys about this. And I was like, I gotta start training jiu-jitsu. That was one of the epiphanies, is that I needed to start training jiu-jitsu. And then I got on my phone to see where a jiu-jitsu gym was. And it was 3 blocks from me at the time. It's 5 blocks from me right now. But at the time, it was 3 blocks away. I was like, oh shit, this was meant to be. And I did fucks with that shit. All I'm saying is, I've always, been a huge fan of Izzy. The pose that he's doing there, I believe this is the fight with Anderson Silva, is my desktop. It's been my desktop since that. Somehow with Mac, it just... with all my new gadgets, it just transfers everything over. So this has been it's been my desktop since that happened. I'm trying not to hate this nigga, but I felt like it was so dumb that they rushed him to fight Adesanya What, before Padilla retired because he's like fucking 35? With 8 fights now in fucking mixed martial arts? Let's rush him to fight Izzy, who doesn't grapple too much, and not have him go through the grind of all these fucking wrestlers along the way, because they know he wouldn't fucking make it. First fight in MMA, he lost. Got choked out on the ground. They had to skip past all the grapplers. Send him to Sean Strickland. Jesus Christ, I'm fucking heated. So here we go. Adesanya versus Alex Pereira. And as I was saying, I'm trying not to hate this nigga. He's got good striking. You know, I was trying to watch some videos with Adesanya, because the point of this thing here isn't to just fanboy over certain fighters or to hate on fighters for no reason. And it isn't like no reason. Like, I just thought it was ridiculous how they rushed him to fight Izzy just because of their history, given Pahea's experience in mixed martial arts. I thought that was pretty silly. Fucking Adesanya didn't have that fast of a fucking climb to the belt. Alright? But because he has that connection to Adesanya, they were like, well, just send him right through. No. Express lane. Right here. This way, sir. That was my issue. So my issue isn't, I don't know this nigga. You know what I'm saying? I don't got no issue with Alex Pereira. Other than the fact that they're taking all our black stars. The 3 African kings. Francis Ngannou, Kamaru Usman, Israel Adesanya. They took all our stars, ladies and gentlemen. And he was the last style bender. The last style bender, man. It's fucking... It is just whack. I would love it if Izzy could... I would love it if Izzy wins this next fight. I say there's no reason why Izzy can't win this fight. I just felt like it was dumb to rush this fight regardless of how the fight fucking ended. If Izzy won the first fight, as he was like I had him 4 rounds, 4-0 going into the last round, I believe. I'm not sure. I don't know if I was scoring it because I was probably pretty emotional. And I try to remove myself from scoring these kind of fights. I'm here right now babbling pretty emotional about this fight. So everybody had Adesanya. All he had to do, if that fight went to a decision, he definitely wins that fight on everybody's card. So there's no reason why he can't win this fight. You guys saw how he had that boy frozen like Elsa. We saw it. But the clock ran out. But he was this close to knocking Pereira out. There's no reason why Adesanya can't win this one. In kickboxing, yes, he was knocked out by Pereira. But we all know that everything that led up to that was Adesanya beating his boy's ass. Whipping that boy like a government mule. Okay? There's no reason why Adesanya can't win this fight here. So, I don't know who wins this fight, but I'm openly rooting for Adesanya. Hopefully, Adesanya wins this fight. I think, man, this is the best thing for the sport. This is the most popular fucking fighter. Like, actual fighter. Like, Conor's he's a celebrity fighter at this point. Like, he's the big money payday. he's not really fighting contenders. He's picking and choosing who he fights to just keep him wherever. And it is what it is. So your most popular fighter, your most recognizable fighter with the fucking Puma deal, Adesanya, you rush a fight with this guy who has 7 fights at the time to fight your champion, your most popular star. I don't understand it. Khamzat Chimaev wasn't rushed that fast. Why hasn't Khamzat Chimaev gotten a fight yet? He should have fought for both belts at this point. Dude, see, I don't know. I was heated. Fucking heated when Adesanya lost last time. I'm telling you right now, I'll be pretty disappointed if he loses this one. Don't want to see that happen. But as it happened last time, very well can happen. But niggas, let's send our energy to fucking Adesanya like fucking Goku. You feel me? Send our energy to Adesanya like fucking Goku. And in the co-main event, see, I'm trying not to hate on niggas, but you got Gilbert Burns versus Jorge Masvidal. And it pains me to say, man. It really pains me to say that I'm rooting for Gilbert. That's not what it pains me to say. It pains me to say that I think Masvidal is a terrible matchup for Gilbert Burns. I feel like his striking is the kryptonite, is what we've seen, is what really gives Gilbert Burns problems. The kind of striking, his style of striking, with the stiff jab, the quick, like, Burns doesn't have the best defense when he's striking. He's kind of wide open. He's coming at you with the power, but he's kind of left open. And someone like Masvidal can definitely capitalize on his deficiencies in the stand-up. But, Masvidal is known to be sneaky. He'll run up on you, you know. He was real sneaky when he knocked out Ben Askren. You know, Masvidal's known to be sneaky. He'll sneak you. And then go on Instagram or wherever and brag about the crime he just committed before turning himself in or whatever. He's in the back of the police car there. Before turning himself in and pleading not guilty. Nigga, you already bragged about it. You did the crime. There's video. There's footage else from the restaurant of you assaulting Colby. Then you went online and posted a video bragging, talking shit like that's what happens when you're breathing hard. And I'm extra channels, blah, blah, blah. Like, this is before the people really knew what the fuck happened. It was like a report, like, allegedly this happened. And then Jorge fucking breathing hard, like, that's what happened. That's what happens when you... Then the video comes out of him wearing those same clothes, attacking, like, just running up on Kobe. Like, nigga. So, it would be amazing here if Gilbert Burns could get the W here. I'm rooting for Gilbert. You know, Gilbert, he's got lots of power, great jits. Masvidal is great defensively against the grappling. I believe I think he's much bigger than Gilbert Burns. I think this is a bad matchup for Gilbert Burns. I'm rooting for Burns, but I'm begrudgingly going to have to pick Jorge Masvidal. Begrudgingly, dude. Begrudgingly. Let's look at the rest of this card. Why don't we? While we're at it. Fucking... Get that card up. Yeah, so we got Rob Font versus Adrian Yanez, man. That could be... I think on paper it should be a really good fight, but I honestly don't think it's gonna be a good fight. Adrian Yanez, my boy, it looks like everyone else is moving in slow motion, and he's there with his eyes open, which you might be like, shouldn't he have his eyes open? Yeah, he should. Everyone should. But when you watch the fucking replays of fighters, they kind of close their eyes as they throw strikes. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them close their eyes as they throw strikes. Yanez is there with his eyes wide open on the opponent, and he's throwing these fucking super fast punches. He's super fast with these punches. Sorry, I feel like it sounds like I got a little bit of lisp here. Bit my cheek. Or something, dude. I don't know. It's kind of still hurts or something. Something happened with my teeth and I'm biting my fucking inner, the fucking side of my cheek. It's causing me to have this lisp. But anywho, Yanez, it's like he's in the fucking Matrix. He's Neo, all right? When I'm watching, if you watch go right now. All right, when you're done listening to this, or maybe pause this and go fucking watch a fucking slow motion highlight of Adrian Yanez. And you're like, how the fuck is he moving that fast? Because the people are getting hit. They're bah, and still reacting, moving over here. But he's bah, bah. In the middle of them, falling over that, he's already cracking them with two, and he's just right there, bah, bah. And as they move, and they're trying to figure out what the fuck's going on, he's with them and hitting them again. It's dude, how is he moving that fast? How is it? Doesn't even make sense. And that's why I think Adrian Yanez is gonna fucking dominate Rob Font and probably get another first round victory. Rob Font is known for his striking, known to be pretty good with his striking, but I think once you put that pressure on him, once we saw Cheeto was starting to put that pressure on him, he really fucked that boy up. He really fucked Rob Font up, and Yanez is going to be there early with fucking sharp combinations, sharp boxing, just beautiful boxing, all right? They're about the same size. I thought Yanez was going to be a lot shorter, but he's not. I think he's going to dominate. You got Kevin Holland versus Santiago Ponzinibbio, man. This is an interesting fight because, man, before the Wonderboy fight with Holland, I would have flat out just gone with Kevin Holland. But he got touched the fuck up in that fight, and that wasn't that long ago. Ponzinibbio is a very good striker, but he's looked slower as of late. He's lost a step in his recent fight. So I'm curious, if there are improvements for Kevin Holland after that Wonderboy fight, if he has made some improvements there, are we going to see a different Kevin Holland? But I don't know how we could see a different Kevin Holland in such a short time. So I'm actually going to roll with Ponzinibbio in here, but I'd love to be proven wrong. Then to start off the main card, you got Milwaukee's own Christian C-Rod Rodriguez starting the main card off against Rahul Rosas Jr., who is the youngest fighter ever signed in the UFC. He was signed at 17 years old. He's undefeated 7-0 And he is stepping in there against Milwaukee's own Christian Rodriguez, as I said, but I just want to say it one more time. Why not one more again? Milwaukee's own Christian Rodriguez, ladies and gentlemen. C-Rod is starting off the card. That is starting off the main card. Then that main card ends with Israel Adesanya. This is a big opportunity for Christian Rodriguez, who is 8-1 versus 7-0 Rosas Jr. I'm rooting for Rodriguez, but grudgingly I gotta go with Rosas Jr. Kelvin Gastelum versus the Action Man, Chris Curtis. I'm gonna go with Chris Curtis, but I feel like they put Gastelum on here, so if hopefully Gastelum can win in an exciting way, and if Adesanya loses, then you could set up that rematch between Gastelum and Adesanya. That's what I feel like is going on here. But I think Curtis is going to win that fight. Let's go to Action Man. Then you got Luana Pinheiro is going to win her fight against that fighter. I don't know much about Carl Lewis or Carl Williams. Why did I say Carl Lewis? I don't know much about Carl Williams. I know a little bit about Chase Sherman, but I got to look more into that. So check out my picks on Saturday. Then you got Gerald Meerschaert, Milwaukee's own, or Wisconsin's own. I don't know if he's from Milwaukee. I think he's from like a little bit, like maybe like Heartland. Maybe fucking Heartland. But if anything, Milwaukee's own Gerald Meerschaert is taking on Joe Pyfer. 10-2 Joe Pyfer, who has a defeat by submission. And Gerald is game. Gerald looked fantastic in his last fight. I believe his last fight was Bruno Silva. I could be 100% wrong on that. Could have sworn it was Bruno Silva. Did he knock him out? Or did he choke him out? Yeah, guillotine choked Bruno Silva, but he was fucking him up with strikes. He looked great in that last fight. So this is like a real test for Pyfer to see where Pyfer is. But I think this might be too big of a step for Pyfer. This is too early because I think Gerald is really starting to hit his stride. I'm gonna go with Meerschaert here, definitely. Like, y'all know I fucking love Meerschaert. If y'all listen to this podcast, I usually roll with Meerschaert. I thought the fucking Chimaev fight was going to be tougher. I thought he was going to make it tough for Chimaev, but it is what it is. Then you got fucking, man, Cynthia Calvillo. I was looking at this. She's on a 4-fight losing streak. 4-fight losing streak. And she's going in there against Lupita Godinez, who did not look too good against Angela Hill in the last fight. But I was just listening to Full Reptile, Dan Hardy and Veronica Hardy, literally right before I started recording this. It was like premiering. I wanted to hear what the fuck they were going to say about the rest of the fighters, but because they were giving some good information. Apparently, Godinez was coming off an injury or some shit and wasn't able to train, and then when she first started to train, this short notice fight with Angela Hill came up. So she's usually known for her wrestling, but with the short notice and the injury, she wasn't able to utilize her wrestling in the last fight. So that would tell me she's trying to utilize that wrestling in here. And Calvillo's on a 4-fight losing streak, man. I used to think Calvillo was really good back in the day. I used to think she was really good, man. If she loses here, it's probably all she wrote for the UFC, and that's unfortunate. I don't really have a pick for that fight right now. I do not, but I've always thought, just don't know what's going on with Calvillo. I could have sworn she was 1 fight away. You win this fight against Chookagian, and then you fight for the belt next, and she never won another fight. She never won another fight. She looked amazing. She looked a world beater before that. She was fucking streaking. She hasn't won a fight since. Then you got Trey Ogden versus Ignacio Bahamondes. Going with Bahamondes. Alright. Steve Garcia versus Shailene Norbeka. Going with Shailene Norbeka. Then you got Sam Hughes versus Jacqueline Amorim? 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 Yeah, Jacqueline Amorim. 6-0. Like, first round submission. Oh. Then she got a first round via punches, first round submission. All right. I'm going to go with her. That's who I'll go with. For that one. So those are the picks that I gave you guys, that I chose to give you. I guess I didn't give all picks, but you'll see on Saturday. When I post my fight picks on Instagram. And possibly Twitter. Sometimes I post them on Twitter. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that. I was going to talk about some other things, but nah, let's just keep it G. Thank you guys so much for being here another week. I have a lot. Next week should be an interesting episode. I'll have some fun shit to talk about. But thank you guys so much for being here another week. This is episode 189. Revenga. Hopefully, Adesanya will get his revenge. If you guys would like to follow this podcast on Instagram and Twitter, it's at Babylon5Pod. You guys can email this podcast at Babylon5Podcast@gmail.com. If you guys would like to hit that like button anywhere that you're listening to this podcast, I appreciate it so much. If you guys would like to follow this podcast on Twitch, head on over to twitch.tv/Babylon5. If you guys would like to cop some merchandise, head on over to teespring.com/store/BOFpod-shop. And lastly, don't just be my niggas. Be my patrons. Be my patron. Head on over to patreon.com/Babylon5Pod and you can be my patron today. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you next week. I hope you niggas is taking care of yourselves and each other. And I'll see ya. When I see ya, I'll holla.
Chant down Babylon Kingdom. Team make we chant down Vatican now. Bang bling chant down Babylon Kingdom. Team make we chant down Vatican now. Chant down Babylon Kingdom. Team make we chant down Vatican now. Bang bling chant down Babylon Kingdom. Team make we chant down Vatican now.